at the halfway point of 2022. Do you know how many movies I've seen? I think like 6. Do you know how many movies George has seen? 42. And we're about to talk about all of them. Coming up next on Inside Movies.
Hey guys, welcome to a special episode of Inside Movies. We're ranking all 42 movies I've seen, and I've got along for the ride and sharing their comments and thoughts on these, editor-in-chief of Merc Publishing, Murphey, novelist and future comic book maker, Andrew Buckley, writer-illustrator, GMB CHOMICHUK. All right, guys, let's get into it. Coming in at last place, I've got at number 42, Moonfall. This movie is not good. I watched it with Greg at like an Airbnb.
This is, George, the worst movie I have possibly ever seen. And I've seen Star Crystal. All right. This is, I cannot believe how much money was spent making this absolute atrocity to filmmaking, storytelling, and science fiction. Wow.
Yeah, so this one was directed by Roland Emmerich, starring Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry. And there's like a moon's operating system that's like an AI created by humanity's ancient ancestors. It's just so bad and so stupid. It has some neat ideas, but it's terrible. Coming in at 41, I've got The Man from Toronto. This one's directed by Patrick Hughes, who did The Hitman's Bodyguard. It's got one good action scene in it, but Kevin Hart, it's a lot of screaming and it's too long and it's just not that funny.
Isn't that just Kevin Hart really in most films nowadays?
Yeah, kind of. All right, coming in at number 40 is Hotel Transylvania, Transformia. This is a C- movie for me. Adam Sandler does not return, and neither does Jendi Tartakovsky, and their talents are sorely missed. Kids will still like it, but it's not overly enjoyable for adults. Also, a C- for me was Death on the Nile. Kenneth Branagh and his mustache are captivating, but the film was way too long. It's kind of convoluted and predictable, which you don't want for a murder mystery. Okay, now these are my C movies. At number 38, I've got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey are great. I could care less about those human characters, though. It's just not as good as the first one, but still fun for kids.
I feel like saying not as good as the first one isn't really a good thing to base it on, because the first
the
one
bar was low.
is lower than a C.
Yeah, I don't know. I grade these ones on like kind of a curve, right? It's like it's made for kids. It's made for that. So
you could get the full Sonic experience and watch it in fast forward, though. That'd be a good way.
And it would be better. At number 37, I have the Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson romantic comedy, Marry Me. I love Notting Hill. It's like one of my all-time favorite movies, which is a little embarrassing. But I was excited for Marry Me because it kind of has a similar concept. Ultimately, I just truly didn't get why these characters were romantically connected to each other, so I can't really recommend it.
You know that Notting Hill is going to be on our list now of movies to review, because I've never seen it. Now, this is a very important character element to George.
Wait, George, is Notting Hill the Chicks Dig Gray movie? It's the only line I remember. Is there a skinny man in gray underwear who says,
yes,
Chicks Dig Gray? That's the most memorable part of Notting Hill. We definitely have to rewatch that. I identify deeply with that one character.
You actually look a little bit like Rhys Ifans, I think he is, the Welsh actor. You look kind of like. Can you go change it to gray underwear for us real quick?
I can, yeah, no problem.
Was this the birth of the gray sweatpants like phenomena for men?
I don't think so.
No. It was just...
Anyways.
Okay.
Totally significant.
At number 36, I have the 355. This was a solid actioneer. Love the all-female cast. I wasn't really invested in the characters, though. Didn't have a good sense of who they were. And the casting of who the villain is makes it, like, super predictable. Did you guys see any of these? None of you?
Not so far.
Okay. At number 35, I've got Morbius. It reminded me of like an early 2000s Marvel movie, like Daredevil or Ghost Rider, in kind of all the wrong ways.
I am curious. So I am one of the few. I actually like Jared Leto.
Leto.
Adam Sandler.
I actually like Jared Leto's Joker. I think he looked dumb as hell, but like I think he did a good job as Joker. So I was excited to see him in something else, you know, in another role. Probably won't ever watch it now though.
He just gets bad luck.
Yeah,
And
he's
you know
got
what?
really bad luck.
That dude is 52 and looks smoking good for 52 years
Oh
old.
my god. It's because he was sucking the blood of the youth and probably bathing in it.
We can only assume.
Is that that's what Morbius is about, right?
He's a vampire.
All right, what's number 34, George?
Yes. So these are all C movies. At number 34, I have Father of the Bride. This is a remake starring Andy Garcia. He's great in it, but this one is just too light on laughs to give it a stronger recommendation. It's basically just a lighthearted drama, which really isn't my bag. At number 33, well, this is a C+. I've got Kimmy. This is a micro-budget Steven Soderbergh thriller. It moves at a good clip. It's inspiring what you can do with like a small cast and like minimal locations, but I would have liked to actually have it be a bit bigger in scope by the end of the film, and it just never really got there. It just always seems really confined. Okay, now we're getting into B- movies. So at number 32, this is a B- movie for me, is Uncharted. Tom Holland is super likable, and I love to see him star in more action movies, but I never felt there was any real stakes in this one, though. Like the characters had zero chance of ever getting hurt or dying, and it's very quippy, but not really funny.
I did really enjoy this movie. I love Tom Holland. I will say the age difference between him and Marky Mark as like a tag team was just, I don't know. It was kind of off-putting to me for some reason. I don't know. I am looking forward to the sequel. If you haven't seen this yet, spoilers, skip ahead 10 seconds. I'm looking forward to what I'm assuming will be the sequel when we actually get him and his brother. And I hope that I'm interested to see what the casting of that will be.
I didn't mind Uncharted because I love video games. I never play video games. Uncharted was one that I played. So the age difference you're talking about was actually, it threw me off in the movie because Sully's supposed to be like old with a beard and like overweight. So for it to be Marky Mark was a weird freaking way to go with this. It looked really cool, and a lot of the shots were like directly out of the video game, but man, the pacing was just crap. I got so bored.
I've only played Uncharted 4, so I'm not familiar with the first one, but yeah, I mean, it was just a basic action movie. I thought it was fun. Not only an action movie, but like a treasure hunting movie. The scenes at the end when they're like in the flying ship that's being like held by the helicopter, I thought that was cool as hell.
At 31, I've got C for Me. This is a blind house sitter tries to navigate a home invasion with the help of an app. If you like these types of movies, which I do, then it's worth seeking out.
That sounds hilarious. Was it a comedy?
It's not a comedy.
It does not sound hilarious, you monster.
I feel like it's a great opportunity for slapstick. Why wouldn't that be funny? It sounds funny.
It could be. At number 30, I have The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum. It's an okay romantic action comedy. The leads are great, but Brad Pitt was the best part of this for me, and he's in it for just too little.
Okay. Okay, action comedy. How many not only number one rom-coms, which is almost a lost art at this point, like how many action comedies can you say have come out, like even based on your list so far? This movie is something that's like bringing back the romantic comedy, and Brad Pitt dying unceremoniously was part of that. I thought this was I had so much fun watching this. I loved it. And unlike, for some reason, the same difference between like Tom Holland and Marky Mark being weird to me, Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, I loved it. There's such like a couple that you wouldn't expect, and to make him kind of this like needy actor guy that was just like really, really seeking her approval. I thought it hit all the right notes. Yeah.
At number 29, I've got The Sadness. Now, this is a super gory Taiwanese zombie kind of crazies movie on Shudder. I
Can you
love
talk about this one without spoiling it? I really want to see it.
Yes. I love the concept and the directing, but it's a little too dark for my horror taste. Like, it goes in places I don't necessarily like to see. So that kind of knocked it down. But the gore is insane in this one. At number 28, I got The Sea Beast. This is a newer Netflix animated movie. I was pretty dialed in for the first 45 minutes, but then it kind of became a lesser How to Train Your Dragon. I would recommend watching it if you have like kids between the age of like 8 and 12, because it's a little bit too mature for younger kids, and older kids might be bored by it. But if you have kids in that kind of sweet spot, give it a watch with them, and I think you'll enjoy it.
So
George,
this
my
is
kids watched that movie
rating for
today.
those.
Yeah,
My kids watched that movie today, and I asked them how it was, and they gave almost the identical review that you just gave.
that's crazy.
It seems kind of high on the list for that review.
It's a B minus. It's, you know, all right.
Shame.
The Lost City should have been higher, clearly. At number 27, I've got Ambulance. This is the last of the B minus movies. This is a Michael Bay heist movie that follows two brothers as they try to escape the police. The movie is way too long for how silly it is. Honestly, it could have been an A for me if it was like 90 minutes. It just was too convoluted and too stretched out. It's like you're making a movie about like an ambulance like racing through the streets of LA. Keep it short.
I saw this movie 10 rows down on an airplane on somebody else's tiny screen. And even at that range, I was like, oh, this is a Michael Bay movie.
Yes.
So that's what I have to say about Ambulance.
At number 26, I've got I Want You Back. Now, this is a B movie for me. If you like romantic comedies, like Murphy does, you'll like this Charlie Day vehicle. It's about two people that have been dumped, and they're working together to get their exes back. You know, it's a little formulaic, but it's worth checking out. And Charlie Day is just so funny. At number 25, I've got The Tinder Swindler. This is a great documentary about the dark side of dating apps. At number 24, I've got a Netflix comedy. It's called Metal Lords. It's kind of a coming-of-age story about two friends in a rock band. You know, some solid laughs in this one, but it could have used a few more. At number 23, I've got Spiderhead. This is Chris Hemsworth's and Miles Teller's Netflix thriller. Super cool concept about chemically manipulating people's emotions. It's a solid flick. I would have liked it to just kind of go totally nuts at the end, and it didn't.
I feel like you should be telling us about these movies like before our mid-year cap review. I'd watch that. I had no idea that existed.
I watched it. It actually wasn't bad. It just didn't feel like it went anywhere fast. It was like a real slow burn. But the concept was really cool, and the manipulation side of it, and Chris Hemsworth as a bad guy was pretty fun to watch.
At number 22, I've got Rise. This is on Disney Plus. It's the story of Giannis Antetokounmpo and his family growing up in Greece as illegal immigrants. He would go on to be a basketball star, MVP of the Milwaukee Bucks. So if you like basketball movies, this one is worth checking out. And another one that's worth checking out as far as basketball movies go is Hustle, starring Adam Sandler. It's got great acting and cinematography in this basketball movie. I felt like it was pretty standard sports drama stuff, though, so I can't really get it any higher than a B. At number 20, I've got Hellbender. This one me and Greg watched together too. Sorry. This one me and Greg watched together as well. So it's a super cool indie flick, small budget, but stellar performances and an interesting dynamic between the characters played by real life mother and daughter duo makes this one of the best horror movies of the year.
A quick point here. Hellbender is the perfect palate cleanser after watching an absolute atrocity like Moonfall. And it's everything that Moonfall isn't. It's smart, it's clever, it's small budget. It's wonderful. I mean, it's also gross and hard to watch in places, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, no, if you like witches and that sort of genre of horror films, check out Hellbender. At number 19, I've got Valet. This is another kind of regular guy dating a movie star, romantic comedy. So kind of like Notting Hill or Marry Me. But this one had a few big laughs in it. So it's worth watching. It's on Disney Plus up here in Canada. In the United States, it's on Hulu. Definitely check it out if you like this genre of movies.
Do you just like that really, singular concept of a regular person being in love with a movie star? Do you have this dream? Is this your dream that we're talking about? And that's why you love this?
Are
this
you
concept?
married to a movie star?
Was Yolanda a movie star?
Who was your
She's not a movie star, but she's well out of my league, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Wow, what a great.
Okay, so trucking along here for B movies, I've got a couple animated ones now. Lightyear is number 18. It's beautiful animation, interesting story, likable characters. It's a good movie, but it lacks the heart and laughs that some of the best Pixar films have. At number 17, I've got Minions, Rise of Gru. I had a great time watching this silly movie. Those yellow minions, they provide some big laughs.
I can't. How are they still making Minions movies?
Because they're hilarious.
No, the Minions are awful.
They're hilarious.
Awful. No.
They love bananas. Come on.
Oh.
The S in Minions is a $sign.
It really is.
It's funny, dude. It's good. Like, I don't know. It's stupid, but it's fun. It kind of reminds me of like, Three Stooges or just silly slapstick stuff. There's one point in this one where the guy's trying to break a board with his head and he can't do it. And then his friend comes over and like rubs his hands and he's like getting ready. And then he grabs his friend and like just starts bashing his head into the board. And I just like lost my mind. It was so stupid. Okay. All right. So now we're getting into B+ movies. We're at number 16 here, The Bad Guys. This is a cool animated heist movie. Sam Rockwell provides the voice of like the big bad wolf. It's got loads of style and fun characters. And then I think at number 15 is probably the best animated movie I've seen this year. Purely animated. It's Turning Red. But with themes of teenage girl puberty, I just wasn't really the target audience for this one. So it kind of stops it from being higher.
I thought it was well done. I thought it was a
loved
good
it.
movie. My kids liked it a lot. Nana's pork buttons for the win.
At number 14, I have Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. An older woman hires a male prostitute to explore her sexual fantasies, but ends up learning a lot about herself. It's got really fantastic performances by Emma Thompson and Daryl McCormick. The low-budget movie did feel like a play with its few characters and limited locations, but the dialogue is so clever and it's engaging and smart and funny. It's just two characters in a room, basically talking for an hour and a half, but it's smart. It's really smart and really funny. Number 13, I've got Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I love seeing the animated characters in the real world. Felt a lot like Roger Rabbit to me. Lots of laughs. A few of the jokes didn't work, and it was a little bit more adult than I thought was necessary for a film that I watched with my kids. Like the Mortimer mouse guy is like addicted to cheese, and it's very clearly like cocaine. But the whole family did really enjoy this one.
I mean, isn't that Roger Rabbit though? When you say it feels like Roger Rabbit, I watched Roger Rabbit as a kid. And then when I watched it again as an adult, I understood all those jokes. Like, it's the same thing with Shrek. Like, Pixar is great at that. I think that's like the mark of a fantastic kids movie is that it can be enjoyed equally because of all the innuendos that your children won't get.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's pretty high up on the list. It's number 13. At number 12, I've got Scream, the 5th entry in my favorite slasher series of all time, with returning favorites and great new characters. Check out my spoiler review when I was a guest on Horror Hangout. We got right into it and talked all about this one. So yeah, I love Scream, and it was great to see another one.
This is number 12 on your list? Like, it's just a rehash of what came before it. What did they do that was new?
It was just awesome, man. It doesn't have to do anything new when it's like this. When the original subject matter
We
is
were
great.
invited to talk about George's list, right? So on his list, it's a 12. But we don't have to agree with these placements because there's an awful lot of Notting Hill ripoffs that are really high on this list.
That's true.
At number 11, I've got Fresh. Sebastian Stan is sensational in this rom-com that takes a twisted turn. I don't want to spoil anything. Just go and check this one out. It's on Disney Plus in Canada. It's on Hulu in the States. It's so good. And it's, yeah, just trust me on it. And the less you know about it, the better. Just watch it. Just trust me.
This is George trying to trick us, guys. Don't fucking fall for this, all right? Sebastian Stan is probably like a movie star, and a regular girl falls in love with him or some shit. That's what this is gonna be. This is fucking Notting Hill. This is what it's gonna be.
No, but it's got the horror twist. So he's a movie star and he falls in love with a regular person, but the regular person turns out to be a serial killer.
Oh, that's even better. Write that movie. That sounds good.
That sounds great. Let's write that. Okay, we're into the top 10. Awesome. So this is still a B plus for me, but at number 10, I've got The Black Phone. The Grabber is one of the best new horror villains to come around in a long time. I really enjoyed the performances. The child actors are great in this one. The 70s setting, and it's a must watch for horror lovers. You got to check this one out. All right, now we're getting into A- movies. At number 9, I've got Elvis. Austin Butler is tremendous as the king of rock and roll, and Tom Hanks as the colonel. He's just such a good villain, and like I didn't know their story and their relationship, so for me it was like really informative. But it's just a great movie, man. Like I love the performances. The only thing that kind of kept it down for me is I really didn't understand Elvis's motivation going into the last bit of his life. And I guess maybe nobody knows it, so it's kind of confusing, but it's a great movie. It's definitely worth checking out. At number 8, I got Top Gun Maverick. For me, though, the real star of this movie is Miles Teller. Ever since Whiplash, this guy has been one of my favorite actors working today, and the emotion he brings to Rooster is what made this such a great film.
Yeah, really fun movie. I don't like to, give Tom Cruise more praise than he deserves, but man, I saw it twice.
Wow.
I saw it twice.
It was damn good.
At number 7, I've got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. See our past episode for a full review, but for me, it's an A- movie. It's a fun romp through the MCU. It was cool to see alternative versions of our favorite characters.
And again, see our review to know why George is wrong.
Chekhov's zombie.
At number 6, I've got The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nick Cage is a movie star and a bigger-than-life personality. For me, this was the funniest movie I've seen this year. So it's definitely worth checking out, in my opinion.
This one is on my list. I hope that I can find it in theaters still somewhere because I feel like this would be a really good one to see in theaters. But Nick Cage starring as Nick Cage, I can't think of anything that could be better than that.
Not since Jean-Claude Van Damme starred as Jean-Claude Van Damme.
In Friends.
Not in Friends. And Jean-Claude Van Johnson. If you haven't seen that one, it's a TV show on Amazon. It's awesome. I love Jean-Claude. So I'm psyched to start doing some Jean-Claude movie reviews on this channel. Okay, now we're into the top 5. Coming in at number, and this is an A movie for me, was X. This is a Thai West horror movie. Oh, I guess so. This is higher than Black Phone. Anyways, a group of actors set out to make a porno when they rent a house on a farm under the noses of their reclusive hosts. But when the elderly couple catches the young guests in the act, all hell breaks loose. Yeah. So this is my favorite horror movie so far this year. It knows exactly what it is. It's smart and self-referential, but at the same time delivers on all the suspense and gore that you want. Horror movies don't get much better than this one. Check it out. It's
deep down in here, George, is there a relationship between a man and a movie star?
God, I hope so.
Is that what's happening? I think we're unraveling something deeply personal about George's both sense in storytelling and also his taste in films.
Oh, but this one, she's a porn star.
Hey, film is film, I guess.
In general,
Film
yeah.
is film. I mean, still takes acting, but we have learned a lot about George
A
in
little
this
bit more
episode.
acting.
He does like that concept of the movie star and the regular person.
At number 4, I've got The Northman. This movie, the best way to describe it, I think, is epic. Incredible visuals, a simple story that inspired Shakespeare's Macbeth. I thought Alexander Skarsgård was a force of nature. And that scene where they were in the wolf's clothing and they get like stoned and they go and raid that village. Holy shit, was that insane. It was like kind of filmed in like a one take sort of style. The movie's awesome. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it.
That movie feels like a fever dream. It's not like, it's good. It's very artistically, it's great, but it's one of those movies that you're like, they're going for an Oscar because it's just it's so wild. And he did do great. I do agree with you on that. I don't know if it's number 4 though.
I think I might get some blowback on number 3 here though.
Yeah.
How is this so high on
And number 3 for me, I've got Jurassic World Dominion. Straight up, this was one of the best times I've had in the theater all year. I love seeing the old cast and the new cast team up. I love the new dinosaurs, the fucking Wolverine dinosaur. The suspense, the action. It's just a fucking fun movie. I did not get why so many people hated it.
All right, who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
I also don't know why everyone hates it so much because it promised exactly what it delivered, but what it delivered was not something we needed that much more of, I think. So it's honest, at least.
Do you mean because it delivered the exact same thing that the previous 5 movies have delivered? Again? Hey, wait, it's kind of like Scream, really, isn't it? Just repeating the same formula over and over again. Weird.
It was okay. Look, I did not like most of the Jurassic. Well, there's only 2 of them. I didn't like the previous Jurassic World movies. Like I didn't really care about the characters. I thought a lot of it was like silly, whereas like the original Jurassic Park movies, like I really like kind of like believed it. And this just took the original Jurassic Park movies and the silly current Jurassic World movies and tried to go. And I did not hate it. But it is not a top 5 movie.
No, why is it in the top 3? I have no trouble with liking this movie. But out of 42 movies, why is it number 3?
Because it was the most fun I had in the theater. Like, it was awesome.
Wait, that's the criteria now?
Were you drunk?
Okay, so the way I rank my movies is partially on like how good they are as far as like, you know, an aesthetic, like filmmaking, acting stuff, but also how much it impacts me. And this one blew me away. It was so much fun. So that's why it's this high.
Away from you, I suppose. If you disagree strongly with George's movie list, I want to assure you that he's much better at writing comics than he is at putting together a list of excellent movies, and you should check out Cover of Darkness, which is quite fun and wonderful.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, Cover of Darkness is like Lord of the Rings meets the classic Universal monsters. It's a bunch of fun. It's available to order into your local comic book store. The whole graphic novel will be in stores in September. Okay, so it's number 2. This is an A+ movie for me. It's The Batman. We did a full spoiler review of this one on Inside Movies, so check that out. But this to me feels like Batman, you know, like he's a detective, he's young in his career. It's a bit of a mystery, you know, what's going on, and he's got to solve it. And the style's great, the filmmaking's great, and the performances are awesome. It's a great one. Check it out.
I was at a hotel a couple weeks ago and just the Batman was on HBO and I just threw it on and I ended up staying up till 2:00 in the morning. Like, yeah, it's great. It's a great movie. I've only seen like 3 other movies on this list, so I think number 2 is fitting.
Okay, and at number 1, the number 1 movie I've seen so far this year is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, see our full review for this exceptional multiverse jumping movie with a ton of heart. Great kung fu action got me into the theater for this one, but the emotional themes of family and the importance of our connection with the ones we love the most is what has resonated with me since watching this one. I really, really enjoyed this, and that's why it's my number one movie so far this year.
George, there's so many movies on this list I don't agree with you about, but I think this number one spot is why we get along so well. Absolutely agree. My favorite movie of the year, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I am in complete and utter agreement. Go check out our review if you've seen it and you want to get the full spoilers. If you haven't seen it, go watch it first. Don't let us talk about it. You go see it. This movie is perfection.
Yeah, I'm not as high on this movie as all you guys are.
What's your favorite movie of the year so far?
I don't know that I definitely ranked the Batman above it, but I don't think I actually have a favorite movie this year yet. Nothing of the scene has been like, ooh, this is amazing. The Batman's probably the best one I've seen so far. Everything Everywhere at Once, I liked it because it was unique, but as far as like an overall, wow, this is amazing, it was all right. I don't know, it was okay.
You can edit out Andrew's comment, right?
Oh, don't do that. That's not fair. Come on.
No, just do a voiceover.
Yeah, just dump
okay, this is what Andrew's saying. I really liked Everywhere All at Once. This was my favorite movie ever. Now put that over top of his mouth moving.
Make sure it doesn't line up at all.
Okay, thanks for watching the Inside Movies mid-year review. I've been George Michail, joined by Murphey, editor-in-chief of Merc Publishing, novelist Andrew Buckley, and writer-illustrator GMB CHOMICHUK. Follow along on our Facebooks, our Instagram, our Twitters, all those things. Links in the description of this video. And check out my book, Cover of Darkness, coming to a comic book store near you. Until next time, peace.